It's been said that the American dream is slipping away. Mass perception is that home ownership has become unattainable because the costs are just too high. In this space, we believe the American dream is alive and well. The hope of home ownership is within reach. To transform mass perception, it requires education and truth. Equity leverages dreams and aspirations. Together, we can shed a light on the future of home ownership. Welcome to Your Affordable Home Show. I'm your host, Stephen Mitchell. Let's talk tariffs. All right, so what's on everybody's mind right now? So how does this relate to new manufactured homes? Let's talk about that. So really, when you're buying a new home, you got two factors. There's the home cost, all right, and there is if you're financing, the loan cost, all right? So the thing about tariffs is it really affects the home cost, okay? So what are some factors in that home cost that may change, okay? So we got lumber, okay? Lumber's one of them. So the thing about lumber is, now I've heard some various figures on this, okay? U.S., up to 70% of our lumber comes from right here in the United States. So up to, all right? Now some people say that number's way less, okay? Second in line is Canada, okay? This is a varying number, up to, I'd say the range is between 15 and 30% of our lumber comes from Canada, okay? A lot of what I hear from the lumber industry is 15%. What I hear from big news, big media is more on the 30%. So I would say I would probably trust people working in the industry, in the lumber yards, in the warehouses that are supplying and selling. I would probably pay attention to them more than I would the big news media organizations. So I'm probably going to go more in line with 15%. Now, other outside of U.S. and Canada, we'll put that somewhere in the ballpark of 15%, okay? So that's kind of your lumber makeup. Now, remember, in manufactured home sales, think about it this way. Here's the word, manufactured. So manufactured, what does that mean? Manufactured means I'm thinking warehouse, okay? And by thinking warehouse, that means that this stuff and everything that we talk about today is bought in bulk. So the fact that everything is bought in bulk, it might be bought pre-tariff, could be purchased after the tariffs. But By buying in bulk, that cost is being spread out. It's being spread out. I have no idea the type of discounts that specific to the bulk pricing, but I can assure you that all manufacturers are buying in bulk. So just like Home Depot's buying their bulk shipment of lumber, Clayton, Cavco, whoever you're dealing with, they're all buying their bulk shipment of lumber. Okay? So that's another factor you need to keep on your mind. All right, so we've talked lumber. What's something else we can talk about here? Erase this. So, outside of lumber, what goes into a home? Well, think about your exterior. Exterior, I'm going to call them finishes. Okay? That is, there could be more lumber used there, but I'm thinking more along the lines of siding and masonry. Siding and masonry. So when you think siding and masonry, I don't know exact breakdowns, but siding and masonry, the good news is the U.S. produces a lot. So the U.S. produces a lot of your siding and masonry products. When it comes to brick, there is some that comes in from Mexico. That could change with all this. It's hard telling. But most of your vinyl siding, most of your stone and masonry stuff that would be used on the exterior is produced right here in the United States. So tariffs will not make a huge impact on this. Maybe slightly. Like I said, bricks, there's a lot that are supplied from Mexico, but most of this stuff is manufactured right here in the States. So that's the exterior. So what else do we have outside of lumber and exterior finishes on a home? Well, the thing that comes to my mind is, I'm going to say gypsum, okay? Gypsum interior. All right, interior. Think drywall. Think all the stuff that goes into drywall, all the stuff that goes into mud that you're using to close those seams between all the panels that go in through a home. Gypsum is a main component of those items. So the good news is the U.S. is a big producer, okay? So big producer of gypsum. I don't think that we have to be overly dependent on other countries when it comes to gypsum, drywall, things of that nature. We produce quite a bit of that stuff right here in the States. So I don't think tariffs are going to make a huge difference when it comes to this part of home building. Okay. Now, other interior finishes. Okay, and I mark this as gypsum, but interior. Think of counters. All right. Counters, countertops, like your kitchens, things like that. All right. 2018, prior to 2018, we did get a lot of quartz countertops from China, okay? But nowadays, what we did get from China comes from, a lot of times, from Vietnam or India. India is a big supplier of quartz countertops, United States. A lot of stuff's done right here in the States, but countertops is something that a little bit, you know, there is some coming in from outside countries, okay? So tariffs will definitely play a factor. I would say there might be some specialty stones. Think about like stonework that might be done inside, maybe certain tiles that a person would want to finish out their kitchen backsplashes or finish out a shower or something along those lines. So there might be some of those materials that this will play a part, that tariffs will play a part in. How much? Well, that probably depends on each person and what they're building or what they want to accomplish with that home that they're building or having produced for them. But again, there's some marginal things when it comes to interior finishes, but the big one, the gypsum, the drywall, the mud being used, United States is a big manufacturer of those things. So that's good news. Okay. And then let's talk about, there's two more things I want to think about here. Save the biggest one for last, but steel. Okay, so steel. The United States is actually the fourth largest country in steel production. First is China, second is India, third is Japan. So then United States, number 4, like I said. So this will actually play a bigger part as it relates to manufactured homes due to the chassis. So there's a lot of steel that is used there, and this will play a part bigger in manufactured housing than site built homes as it correlates to tariffs. But inside the home, obviously you have your nails, things like that, fasteners. It won't play a huge role inside the construction, inside the home, but again, chassis on manufactured homes, it'll play a bigger part as it relates to tariffs. It's another day, busy at work, helping teams across the nation in the manufactured home sales industry. Maybe you're not part of our clientele yet, but you're thinking about it. You're a manufactured home sales team. You want to go next level. You know there's more business out there. I can assure you there's more business out there, especially with home prices right now. Get in touch with us. I'll put a link in our description. The year's filling up. Don't wait. Talk to you soon. The last one's the biggie, okay? And I would say this is what's going to affect home prices the most. Appliances, I'd say amenities. So appliances, amenities. So the U.S. brings in a lot of appliances from other countries, okay? There's not a whole lot, to the significance, there's in comparison to lumber and all the other things we've talked about, appliances are the thing that's going to hurt us in the immediate future on tariffs, because so much of this stuff is manufactured and built outside of the U.S. So appliances, I'm going to say small producer. Small producer, okay? Small producer, and if there are factories here, a lot of those parts that are building those products are being brought in from outside countries. So appliances, that's going to hit the cost of the home, especially a new home that has the appliances factored into it. Even if you're buying a home and it don't have appliances, it's still going to hit your wallet, because you're going to be going to the big box stores, the appliance stores, whatever, to buy appliances. It's going to make an impact. All right, I think that's what's going to hit home buyers the most is the cost of appliances. All right, so in a nutshell, again, we're still talking about home cost here. So in a nutshell, the home cost, what I keep hearing is in the 9% increase, okay, on the cost of a new home. Why don't we just scratch that, add some cushion, and say new home prices go up 10%, okay, because of the tariffs. All right. Well, we're talking manufactured homes, so you're easily on a manufactured home, you're saving, it could be 80,000 plus on a new home, going the manufactured route versus site built. Okay, so in the grand scheme of things, you're talking $10,000 for every $100,000 spent. That's a very, very small amount. Very small amount in the grand scheme of things. Your median home buy, or budget, I guess you could say, for a home, most people have, they're budgeted for $260,000 for a home. That's what they're budgeted for. If you're looking at new, you've probably been priced out of the market if you're going site built in most markets. Not every market, but most markets. And if you're going to go new, you're probably going to have to go manufactured. Okay? It's the only way you're going to touch the $260,000 budget. It's the only way you're going to do it. And so again, 10% is a very small, in the grand scheme of things, a small amount. It's a very small amount on every 100,000. You're talking $10,000. Obviously, there's appreciation, depreciation. That's going to hit the market. But again, we're talking new construction. And I think it's a small amount. So maybe that gives you peace of mind. Maybe it don't. Maybe that gives you some peace and understanding the tariff situation. I hope it does. But till the next one, remember, home ownership empowers the American dream. Talk to you later.